Hello everyone, welcome to another data analytica video. So in today's video we will actually see a real data project that is actually given to candidates during interview conducted by Netflix. So this I took the question from StrataScratch, but we'll be creating a demo data to analyze on. So let's create a notebook in Databricks free edition. And let me name this document PySpark Netflix analysis. So we'll be doing this using PySpark. And if pandas necessary, then we will use pandas as well. So let's begin with the data project question. So I will copy the question so that we don't have to type the whole question again. And we will go through it together. Okay, sorry. Okay, so the question is actually to analyze the data and generate insights that could help Netflix in deciding which type of shows or movies to produce and how they can grow the business in different countries. And we are given a data set with list of all TV shows or movies available on Netflix. Okay, and that data set having these number of columns. So one is show ID, so that is actually a unique ID for movie or show, and then type, whether it's a movie or whether it's a TV show. And then we have title, that actually gives us the title of the movie or show, director, cast, so actors involved, then country where the movie or show was produced, date added, so date it was added on Netflix, then its release year, rating, duration listed in, so what kind of genre actually it belongs to, and then description, so it gives a description as well. And then so these different types of columns are actually provided in a data set, and then there are few questions that are to be explored. So it asks like what type of content is available in different countries and how has the number of movies released per year changed over the last 20 to 30 years. And then comparison of TV shows versus movies, what does better, and then what is the best time to launch a TV show, analysis of actors or directors of different types of shows or movies, then does Netflix have more focus on TV shows than movies in recent years, understanding what content is available in different countries. So we will have to answer these all the questions listed. And at the same time, if you look at the practicalities listed, it actually says that the exploration should have a goal. So when you explore the data, please keep in mind that you need to answer which type of shows to produce or how to grow the business. So the end goal should be kept in mind and ensure each recommendation is actually backed by data. Then so because companies looking for data-driven insights, for actually the ultimate goal of data analysis to get the data-driven insights, not personal opinions or anecdotes. So assume that you're presenting your findings to business executives who have only a basic understanding of data science. So avoid unnecessary technical jargons. So the main goal is actually to have the exploration, keeping in mind the data-driven insights, and also not to have lots of jargons used, because it should be having an easy to understand kind of like findings. So that's the way how the findings should be presented. Okay. So I think because it's actually very relatable data set, because the movie or TV shows and Netflix are actually quite popular. So I think you actually have understood what we should be doing. So and we will of course go through the data in more detail. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so let's start with getting the data set or the CSV file which has demo data to the catalog. So I'm on now I'll go to catalog, and then I will click on a schema called data and then volume CSV files. And here let me just upload to this volume the demo CSV file that I have. Okay, so it's Netflix data, and let's just refresh. So here we have Netflix data CSV, and then let's go back to workspace. And okay, so the first thing after importing the data that we need is actually I'm going to set up all the and get all the imports. So the first thing, and imports. Okay, so here I'm going to import pandas as PD because we will require pandas while creating charts, even though we will do other transformations and EDA everything using PySpark. And then I'll import numpy as also, and import matplotlib. And then get plotly express, import cbon. Then from PySpark.sql import Spark session. Then get all the functions. Also, I'm going to create Spark session, which we will require, of course, while working with PySpark. So let's say Spark equal to Spark session dot builder dot app name. So we'll give app name as PySpark Netflix analysis. And then get or create. Okay, so let me run this. And let's wait for it to load. So okay, it ran without any errors. And the next thing that we're going to do is, because we already have data that we need in the catalog and CSV files volume, so I'm going to load that data. And here, okay, so in case you are not familiar with how to actually get that data into the volume in this Databricks free edition, this is actually a step I followed in most of my previous videos, so that's why I didn't actually do it again. So in case you would like to see how to do that, please you can actually refer to any any video, any previous videos, you'll be able to see that, like how to create that catalog schema and create a managed volume and then upload the data. Okay, so here I'm gonna read that CSV file from spark.read. Okay, before that, let me give option of header. So let's say like I have got header true. Okay, and then option of infer schema, that's also true. Then get the CSV. So the location of the CSV is going to be volumes, workspace, data, CSV files, Netflix data.csv. Okay, and let's get how many rows and columns. Let's get the shape of that data set. To get that num rows, it's going to be df.count. Okay, and num columns, length of df.columns. So the print, let's say data set shape is going to be referring to the variables that we already created. Get in a set and then num rows and also num cos. Okay, and then close the parenthesis. And let's also display the first 5 rows. Truncate equal to false. Let's wait for it to run. Okay, so here we are, and we have under the dataset shape, you can see that we have 1500 rows and then 12 columns, which is all the columns listed here, 3 and all the 12 columns. And then if you look at the data set, we have some show ID. It can be either show or movie ID, and then type, which says whether it's a movie or TV show, and then title, so it can be the title of a show or movie, and then director, and then cast. So these are actually not real data. So this is actually something that has been created, a dummy creation. So but I think this actually not having most of the values filled in, so it's not something, it can be really useful. It can be useful. It actually similar to the real data set. And then the country which it's released in, and then the date added, and release year, and we have rating, then duration, so listed in what kind of genre it's actually belongs to, and then description. So all these different fields we have, and we'll be exploring this data using these fields. Okay, so the next thing that we will actually see is a bit of a data cleaning. So let's, because that's also another important part when you do the analysis. So data cleaning, so the first thing that we are going to do is strip white spaces. So we are going to strip, okay, trailing or leading white spaces so that we have a better or cleaner data. So how we are going to do it, we'll actually get all the string columns first. string calls equal to field name, field dot name for field in df dot schema dot fields if the type field dot data type is equal to string type. So we are checking whether it's this column or the field data type is actually of string type, then it will actually get added to the string calls list. Okay, and now we're going to strip white spaces. So PySpark usually operates column-wise. So we loop over string columns instead of using apply map or something. So that's what we're going to do. So how we will do it: for cin string calls, df equal to df dot width column c comma trim of call of c. Okay, so we're going to trim that column, and then that's it. And then we're going to show that df dot show 5 rows to see. Okay. Okay, so here we didn't actually see any kind of like leading or trailing spaces before, so we can't really figure out, but it, of course, like this trimming will actually do the stripping of white spaces. So that's what we have achieved here, because we have like nearly 1,500 rows, so it's quite a lot, many columns, and we can do the data cleaning. Okay, so another thing that we are going to do is fill missing values, which is also important. So what we are going to do is we will actually define a replacement value per column. So let's say we will name it fill values, going to be a dictionary, and let's say we will actually use it for director column. So director will actually take unknown as value when it's on NA or null, and then we will have country also will take unknown, then we'll have caste, and then NA, and let's say listed in, we will give NA when it's null value. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is, now we have defined the replacement value, so we can use df.na.fill or df.fillNA, and we will fill missing values using the dictionary that we created. So df is going to be df.fillNA and then fill values. Okay, now we're going to show it 5 comma truncate equal to false. Okay, so here we are, and here if you look at this, we have, okay, because we didn't actually have any null value before in the first 5 rows, so we are still not able to see any difference. Yeah, but this df.fillNA will actually fill whenever there is a null value for director, country, caste, and listed in. And the next thing that we're going to do is date conversion, because if you look at the date that we have, it's actually in a more of a text format than the usual date format that we see, like YYYDD, YYYMMDD. So we're going to convert this to that format. So it's a kind of like data cleaning that we can do. So let's do that. Okay, so convert date. Okay, so what we will do is with df.with column, we'll have a date added. So that's actually like date added column we will add, and okay, maybe formatted. Date added is going to be to date. So this is a function, and we will have, we'll use the date added column. So we will convert that to a date format, and how we're going to do it, will currently it's actually like we need to specify the format that we currently have it. So it's MMMD and then YYY. So this is actually the format that we have, December 06, 2016. So this is how it's now written. And next thing that we're going to do is, okay, so call, okay, so we'll convert this, and then we can check how that df dot select, let's say date added, look like. Show truncate false. Okay, okay, we'll see December 06 couldn't be parsed at index 3. Try to date. Okay, we'll check that. Okay, when we get this error, we need to actually have, let's see, it's actually, it needs to be 4M because we have text month. Okay, still we get some error. Okay, so let me try to run this again, because the thing is that that column has been already added to the data frame with, okay, wrong values. Yes, great. So if you look at this, we have actually now converted date to its date YYYMMDD format. And what we have done is using toDate, and then we specify the current format, which is actually MMMDYYY for the date added. And then we have tried to show this one here. Okay, and also in the meantime, I can actually add df two more columns, so that like added year and added month, so that we can actually use it for analysis. Okay, added year. Okay, so we have now added year and added month. Super. So if you look at this, we have now date added, added year, and added month. So okay, and now let's see. Duration cleaning. So the next part we are going to do is, because we have actually this length or the duration. So duration is now it's actually showing 8 seasons, 143 minutes, 126 minutes. So let's try to clean this part a bit. And how we can do it, we can actually first we will actually extract its numeric part. So numeric part is actually, let's like if it's 8 seasons, then 8 and then duration type. So we're going to extract duration time or the integer part and duration type. So how we are going to do it, we will actually use I'm not sure if you are already familiar with this function. So it's actually reg exp extract. So what it does is, it's actually a function. So regular expression extract is that extracts is part of string using regular expression. So how it works is, let's say we have, okay, maybe I can show you how I'm planning to extract the integer from this duration. So with column, duration int is when call of duration, okay, it contains season. So when it's in seasons, or the like when it's actually TV show. So how do you extract this regular expression? Extract call duration, comma. So this is where we specify the expression, okay, and I'm going to write it comma 1 broadcast of int. Okay, so what is this regular expression that I have given means? So let's say it's actually a pattern that I have written, r and then /d plus, okay, it's actually a pattern. And what it checks for, this actually checks for digit. So because it's actually needs to be in numeric, so it checks for 0 to 9 digits, and then this plus actually means that one or more, and parentheses actually define a capturing group. And the last argument actually defines, let's say like 1 or 2 or whatever we specify. Last argument specifies which capturing group to return. So let's say the first group, because we're not looking for more than one here, so the first group needs to be returned. So that's what we actually look for. We look for the integer part, and then when we find the first one, then we actually return that. Okay, first group I meant, not the first digit. Okay, now let's specify for, let's say, when call of duration min okay, duration, and we'll specify the pattern here. So the pattern is going to be similar plus comma 1 so int. Okay, and let's say otherwise it will actually none. Okay, so there is an error, so we need to track. Yes, I think the space. Okay, let's say when the duration okay, so I can see an additional parenthesis here. Okay, seems fine. Now let's selectively show the filters. df.select duration int duration type Okay, so let's run this. Sorry, I think I haven't actually come to the duration type part yet. Okay, so let's define the duration part also. df.width column. So duration part is also very important, right? Because there can be seasons and there can be minutes. So we need to specify what is actually the type. Duration type when call of duration contains season, so it's going to be season, and or when call of duration contains minute, it can be minutes as well. Otherwise none. Okay, so now we have duration type also. So if you look at this, we have like actually 8 seasons. So duration int is going to be 8 and the duration type is season, and then duration when it's in minutes, so it's going to be the integer part for the duration int, and then duration type minutes. Okay, so this is actually what we have here, and for the duration cleaning part. So we try to separate or we try to get the duration in integer and also the type. And then next thing that we're going to do is drop duplicates. And here because duplicates, we need to, it's really important that we shouldn't have, the show ID needs to be unique. So what we're going to do is df.drop duplicates, and we specify the column which we need to drop those duplicates from. and df equal to df dot drop duplicates. Great. Okay, so that was about the data cleaning part, and now we need to actually start with exploratory data analysis. So let's move on to the exploratory data analysis part. Which is very important when it comes to a project or when it comes to a real data analysis, because we need to understand the data and we need to see how the data looks like using this exploratory data analysis. So the first thing that I'm going to check is missing values to see how many missing values we have and what can be done about them. So after data cleaning, let's see like how many missing values we have. So first thing that I'm going to do is calculate missing values per column. So missing df is going to be df.select count. So we are going to count missing values for each column, and how we are going to do is we will actually use the when, and because it's conditional, when column C dot is null, then what we'll do is we'll actually take that column dot alias of C, and we will do this for C in df dot columns. Okay, so we are actually checking how many, using the count function we are checking whether a column value is null, and if it's null we will actually count that for each column in that df dot columns. Okay, and next thing is actually, because exploratory data analysis gets a lot better with visualizations, we're going to visualize this missing data values. And how we're going to do it, we'll use Plotly, and before that we need to actually convert this df to pandas. So missing df dot to pandas. Convert to pandas for visualization. So using Plotly, how we're going to do it, we'll actually use fig equal to px.imshow missing pd.t, and then text auto is going to be true. Color continuous scale is going to be, let's say, reds. We'll use reds, and then labels are going to be x is equal to missing values, and then y is going to be columns. Also, let's update the title. So how we're going to do it, we'll actually update layout. Title is going to be missing values heat map. Y-axis title is going to be X, we won't have x-axis title either. Okay, so now let's show it. Fig.show. Super. So if you look at this, is actually a Plotly heat map created. So when you use Plotly heat map, IM show is actually the option to use from Plotly. And if you look at this, because we already cleaned up the data set for few columns, but also other columns actually show that there are no null values, which is really good. The data set is actually kind of it's free, not free, but like it doesn't have many of those null values, which is actually because all the values you can see it's actually 0. So, and for each column, which is great. So that, yeah, so you can actually here it's easy, very much easier to see from the heat map rather than having a tabular in a tabular form. So the next thing that we're going to do is distribution of TV shows and movies. So let's see how actually like the data set that we have, how skewed it's towards the number of TV shows or movies, because it's always important to have actually get the data right, and we need to have like a good balance of TV shows and movies to do the, not that it's actually it should be equal, because that's not how the real data will look like, but yeah, because let's see like how currently the data set that we have, how does it look like. Okay, how we're going to do it, we will actually use count. So we'll count both type, and how we're going to do it, we'll use aggregate and then count of type column. So type counts is equal to df dot group by type dot and in aggregate we will use count, and we will call it as count. Also we will convert this to pandas because we will have to use it for Plotly, and then we'll use a bar chart to create this, to visualize this data. So the in bar chart we'll use type counts, okay, and x is going to be of type and y is going to be count. Color is also going to be of, for each type we will have a different color, and then color continuous scale, let's use cool warm. Title is going to be distribution of movies versus TV shows, and then text is going to be count. Fig.show. Okay, so here we have like nearly if you look at the numbers, they're almost very closer. It's like 747 TV shows and 753 movies. Okay, so it's an easier way to analyze or see the distribution using this bar chart. Okay, and the next thing that we will explore, because we know that we have some country data, so let's see like some top countries based on the data that we have. Okay, I forgot to put it to, okay, yeah. And how we are going to do it, first we will split, so it's like actually countries may have more than one entry, so we'll split the country column by comma, explode them into multiple rows, and then strip white spaces. So something that we can do, split country column by comma, explode into multiple rows, and strip white spaces. countries df is equal to df dot select so we'll actually do the explode, okay, which needs to be done after splitting and split of column country by comma and we will call it as country, and then we'll have with column country and trim call of country. So we'll eliminate white spaces, so trimming. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. And next thing is we will actually check, filter out any null or empty strings because we don't need any null country name. So filter out null or empty strings. So how we are going to do it, we will actually use filter countries df dot filter, and we will filter on call country is not null and call of country is not going to equal to null or empty. Okay, so that's what we check here. And once we have that, let's count their occurrences and get top 10. Okay, so how we are going to do it, we will actually have top countries data frame countries df dot group by, we'll group it by country, and then we'll have to count their occurrences. So count, so this is what we are going to do, order by count, so descending order of count, and then we will limit it to the top 10. Okay, and let's see what we have by top countries dot show truncate equal to false. Okay. Okay, so here we are with the count of occurrences for each country, and here we are listing all the top 10 with United States, India, United Kingdom, Canada, Japan in top 5, and South Korea, Germany, France, Australia, Brazil in top 10. Okay, so we have now kind of found out it in a tabular form, which are actually the countries with lots of entries or lots of data for this. And the next thing that we will do is let's visualize the same. And how we're going to do it, we'll actually convert to pandas first. So top countries PD equal to top countries dot to pandas, and let's create a bar chart. So fig equal to px dot bar top countries PD, x is going to be count, y is going to be country, and let's say orientation because we need a horizontal one, let's say h. Text is going to be of count, color is going to be of count, color continuous scale, let's choose Veritas, and then title, let's say top 10 countries by number of titles. Okay. Okay, let's also give some title. So how we can do that, we can actually update layout. And x-axis title is going to be count. And y-axis title is going to be country. Okay, and let's see fig.show. Okay, maybe we can actually have it from higher to lower. So we can actually reverse the y-axis. So y-axis is equal to depth of, let's say, auto range. We are going to reverse it. Okay, so now we have it in a visualization, a bar chart, which actually helps us to see how each of these compares with others in number of titles, or actually the country origin, the TV shows or movies, etc. Okay, so that was it, and we can actually see the top 10 countries here and see how their numbers differ from each other. And the next thing that we're going to do is, like, because we have seen the countries, top 10 countries or something, so next thing we'll actually see the genres, actually like top genres. And how we are going to do it, we will Okay, so first thing that we need to actually see, because let's trim. It can be actually likewise for countries. We may have more than one entry per TV show or per this show ID. So let's try to get them in different rows. Value in different rows or separate rows. Okay, and genres div is going to be div.select explode split call of, let's say, listed in is actually the genres column, and we have the separator here, let's say with comma, and we'll call it genre. And then dot with column, let's trim its leading and trailing spaces. Okay. Okay, so now what else we'll do is Now, likewise, in the other case, we can actually filter out any null or empty strings. df is going to be df.filter call of genre dot is not null, and at the same time it's not empty. So how do you check that? Column genre is not empty. Okay, now let's count occurrences and get top 10. Top genres. Order by descending, and we will limit it to 10. So now let's see the results. Shop top genres dot show and truncate equal to false. Okay. Okay, so if you look at this now, like top countries, we have like top genres like with its count in descending order. So top one showing drama, then animation, they're all listed here with horror, thriller, documentary, etc. And I think it's easier to actually see the numbers in using a visualization. So let's go to the visualization part, and first thing, convert to pandas. So top shown race PD is going to be top shown race top 2 pandas. And we will again use a horizontal bar chart. Okay, so instead of typing the whole thing, let me just copy it from this part, top countries. And here it's px.bar, and it's actually, instead of countries, it's genres. And count, okay, and it's going to be genre. Orientation H, it's count. Okay, we can use some other palette, and then top 10 genres. Okay, so I think we are good. Maybe we can do the x-axis, y-axis title like here. Okay, so here if you look at this, we have the same tabular in visualization now, but it's easier to actually see where each stand with, I mean, like each kind of like genre, how their numbers actually closer to each other, or closer, or I mean like how different they are. Okay, so that was it about top 10 genres. We have found out that drama numbers actually tops the list. Okay, so now let's go to one more exploration, and this is about the year. So release year trend. So let's see like how the number of titles have varied over years, and how we can do that. We'll actually, let's because in our demo data actually we have, if you look at the number year, we have like, we can have like very old movies and released in Netflix. So the time, the year is actually more than it's greater than 1980. So let's just get filtered. Filter for release year greater than 1980, greater than or equal to. Okay, df filtered is going to be df.filter, and then call of release year is greater than or equal to 1980. Okay, and the next thing that we need to do is count the number of releases per each year. Okay, so count number of titles per year. So release year counts is going to be df underscore filtered group by release year dot ag count of, will count, and alias count dot order by release year. And we can actually like in other previous cases that we have seen, we can actually use we can visualize the same data. And how we are going to do it, we'll first convert to pandas. Release year PD is going to be release year counts dot to pandas. Okay, now we can we'll use again a bar chart to have a chart using Plotly. Okay, and we will, let's copy the previous one because it's much easier than to type whole thing again. Okay, so it's actually release here. Okay, release here, and x is equal to b release here, and y is going to be count. Okay, and we're not gonna change the orientation, and color is count. Okay, color continuous scale, let's pick another one, and title is content release by year. Okay. Okay, that's fine. And then let's go to y-axis title is going to be count year, and okay, let's run it. Super. Okay, so now we have it on we can actually see how the numbers have varied over years. and let's say like from 1980 to 2020 something, how the numbers, the distribution or the count have changed. It's not necessary to use a bar chart. Actually, like even line chart is also better to show the trend over the years, but here to see like the specific distribution, I have used bar chart, but it's line chart is also much recommended. Okay, so we can see that like it's actually like it doesn't follow a specific trend or something, but it changes. Like some years like 1996 showed a big number, but whereas it actually dropped in the after years, and then it actually picked up again. So yeah, so this is actually the trend it followed. Okay, so that's it about EDA. So we have actually tried to see different charts like top countries, top genres, distribution of TV shows, like to see how many missing values. And of course, EDAs can be more, and we can do more EDA. We can do the exploratory. But for now, we will actually stop here for this video, and then in the next video we will actually start or focus more on these questions and explore these questions, keeping in mind that we will actually need to have some insights at the end to actually answer which type of shows to produce and how to grow the business. So this is part 1 of this project, and I'll come up with video 2 as soon as possible. So thanks for watching. Let me know your comments and feedback. Bye. Thank you.